Hey everybody, it's Saratoga, and this is your weekly focus card reading for the week beginning June 1st through June 7th, 2020. So this card says leadership, and this is perfect for the situation that we find ourselves in the world today. And I want to talk about leadership in the sense of spiritual leadership rather than on the level of physical leadership. If we think only about physical leadership, that's a very difficult place to be right now because of all the chaos. So I want you to think about leadership in the sense of energy, energetic leadership, leadership from a cosmic perspective, leadership from the perspective where you set the tone with your high vibrational energy and your light in this world. Now you'll notice that the top part of this card really shows the universe. It shows stars and galaxies, and it's a cosmic image. So we want to think of ourselves as cosmic beings because that's the truth of who we are. We are not merely earth-based entities. We live in the universe. We live in the cosmos. We actually reside in a domain of much higher, more empowered and intelligent consciousness. So that's where we really want to orient ourselves, especially at the beginning of June. There are a couple of reasons for that. Number one, we are in an accelerated ascension process right now, and this ascension energy is bringing a lot of things to a head. It's amplifying wherever people are at, whether that's in a good place or a bad place. I think we're experiencing a compression of our timeline, which is why time feels like it's speeding up and why events are unfolding at a faster and faster rate. So due to all of that, you guys, we have to be very grounded and very centered. Now, the other thing is that this month of June has two eclipses. It's going to open a big eclipse gateway. So we want to position ourselves this week at the beginning of June to really take advantage of that energy, and so that it will elevate our consciousness and our awareness to a much higher level. I also want to mention that this week on Friday, June the 5th, we have a full moon lunar eclipse. And all full moons are really, really good for clearing. So if you think about transformation and leadership and raising your consciousness to a much higher level, the very first thing you need to do is clear out any old energy, old thought forms, old beliefs, old densities, just old stuff that doesn't apply anymore, that doesn't serve you, that just weighs you down. Because when you think of raising your vibration, if you have those lower vibrational thoughts, beliefs, emotions, etc., etc., if you are holding on to that stuff in your physical body, it's going to weigh you down. It's going to make it very difficult for your vibration to rise to the level that it needs to be at for you to embody the cosmic consciousness that you truly are. So this is a perfect week for starting out the month of June by clearing out any old stuff that we don't need. And I want to bring your attention to the stone that I have at the bottom of this card. This stone, it's sort of a bluish stone. It's called Azumar, which means blue ocean. And Azumar it's a fascinating stone. I always feel that it has multiple layers and levels of energetic influence. One of the things about Azumar that is wonderful is that it very effortlessly will dissolve negative patterns. It dispels fear, anger, stress, things like that, and it brings an uplifting energy with it. It's just a beautiful stone. It's very, very magical. And I also put this stone here because if you look at it, if you guys can see closely, the markings on the stone actually look like the waves in the ocean. think about how clearing the ocean is. That's salt water. There's something about the ocean that will absolutely instantly clear your energy. You don't even have to go in the water. You just stand next to it and your energy field will be completely cleansed and cleared out. So that's really appropriate for this week with this full moon lunar eclipse. And also, one more thing about the eclipse. Because it is an eclipse, it's going to intensify and amplify that full moon energy for clearing out. So try to be mindful this week. Become self-aware, become conscious. What am I holding within my body that's weighing me down? What old memories, thoughts, beliefs, attachments do I no longer need that really don't serve me in this new era of ascension that I find myself in? And then once you become conscious of what those things are, you can align with that full moon energy and allow it to be cleared away. Allow yourself to release it so that your energy level can start to rise, your vibration can start to rise. And when you clear that stuff out, you guys, you're going to become more awake. You're going to feel more aware, more conscious. And you know what happens when you feel more conscious? You feel more confident. It will definitely raise your level of confidence. And one of the things about Azumar, I'm not sure if I mentioned this to you a moment ago, but it does bring with it a level of confidence and inspiration at the same time that it's clearing all that stuff out. Now, the neat thing about stones is you're just looking at a video here with this stone in it, but you can tune into the energy of this stone just through this video alone. So feel free to do that if you feel so inclined. Now let me talk about the image of the polar bear. A polar bear is a symbol of strength and courage. It's a symbol of fearlessness. That's exactly what we need in the world today, right? I mean, it is so chaotic, it's so crazy and unpredictable. So we need to be grounded. We need to be courageous. We need to have that inner strength. And a polar bear has a spiritual influence of grounding and strength during times of adversity. So what could be better than that, right? So this card is just so perfect for this week. I absolutely love this card. Also, the white color of the polar bear symbolizes purity of spirit, which also fits in with what we're talking about, because when you clear all that old stuff out, you are purified. You become more pure, more authentic, more in alignment with who you really are. So I think you can see, if we put all of this together, that this is a week to position yourself, to just pause, increase your level of self-awareness, become centered, focus on clearing out whatever is in the way, because as we move into June and we get into this major energy of these eclipse gateways and the solstice on the 20th, you want to be prepared to take full advantage of that energy, which is very, very transformational and transmutational. So this is the week to get ready for that. And I think if you focus on all of the things I brought up here, you're going to have an absolutely fabulous week. You're going to have, I guess I would call it a spiritually very productive week. You can have some tremendous forward movement. And imagine how wonderful you are going to feel at the end of this week if you clear out that old stuff. And doesn't it make sense that that would be the first thing we'd want to do? Because we don't want to try to go forward and carry all this old baggage, right? We need to put that baggage down. We need to let it go and release it. And you're going to find the more you let go of that stuff, the more your vibration is naturally going to rise. Because here's the thing, I'm just going to close with this one final thought. Your vibration, when you are the purest form of who you are, your vibration is naturally extremely high. That's who you are. So you're not really raising your vibration. What you're really doing is releasing the stuff that's weighing your energy down. So if you think of it that way, I think you're going to find a lot more ease in coming into your own as a spiritual warrior, as a warrior for the light. If you realize that you don't have to effort to make your vibration get higher. You don't really have to put effort into that. Just frame it differently. Frame it in such a way as realizing, you know what, I am a very extremely high vibrational being of light, of powerful, powerful light. That's who I am. And I seem to have all this junk that's in my energy field, in my body, that I'm carrying around from who knows what and where. And the more I release that stuff, the more I get rid of that stuff, my vibration's going to get free. My energy will be free, and it will naturally raise to a much higher level. I think, you guys, if you frame it that way, you're probably going to find it a lot easier to let go of old stuff that you may have felt attached to. So I think that's all for now. I'm wishing you guys a beautiful week, a very, very powerful month of June, and I'm sending you all so much love. Namaste, everyone.